Welcome to
everyone.
Coleman Report Live, August 1st, 2019, guys. We're merely 2 months away from the end of SBA's fiscal year, and we've got some exciting things to talk about today. Let's go ahead and jump into some poll questions. Do you support the nomination of Jovita Carranza as SBA Administrator? Yesterday and today, we're seeing information that Trump has formalized the nomination of Jovita as SBA Administrator. How do you feel about it? So most people don't know, and that's the same thing for me. She actually was an SBA appointed, and not the administrator, but an SBA appointed employee. It was prior to the time when I was deputy director at the Little Rock Commercial Loan Servicing Center, but she does have some SBA background and experience. As most of us know, in SBA world, the appointed employees serve an important role, but those career employees are the ones that certainly take care of most of the heavy lifting at SBA. And, I think she's probably a good nomination. When I was looking at her resume, I did not see a tremendous amount of small business background, but I think there are great people working at SBA that will help SBA continue to grow. Let's take a look at the second poll question. Are you obtaining fingerprint background checks on your applicants? Of course, let's take a look at the results, but fingerprints are required in certain circumstances when you have somebody who has an arrest or a conviction, and most people are retaining. I figured the no's are people who have not had an application where 912 clearance and you had somebody with an arrest record. Let's take a look at the third one. U.S. workers age 55 plus comprise the largest overall share of entrepreneurs. True, false, or I don't know. 75, you guys got it correct. The Coleman Report had a report about the growth in entrepreneurship in those aged 55 and older. I think a lot of it is people work in the corporate world, they get downsized, restructured, or they just want the freedom to make decisions on their own. Many of you may not know, I was an entrepreneur for 7 years, and probably the most gratifying part of that is you develop a business plan and a strategy for your business, and those decisions you make either benefit or don't benefit you individually, but you have control over the process, and the outcome is up to you. So that was the most gratifying part of being a small business owner for me. And there is tremendous growth in that 55 plus segment. So that's something as an SBA lender we need to keep in mind in terms of targeting potential SBA loans for those new business starts on people over the age of 55. And again, the news came out that Trump has nominated Jovita Carranza as the next SBA administrator. Again, you can look at her resume and see the information. She does have some SBA background. She is currently the U.S. Treasurer. And she's had a lot of experience in political positions. And I think, again, as long as she gets in and supports entrepreneurship and keeps the good staff that currently exists at SBA in place, we should be fine as participant SBA lenders. New process on background checks came out on SBA 7A and 504 loans. If you've got an applicant who currently has criminal charges that they're facing, or they've been arrested in the past 6 months, of course, you're going to have to get a 912 clearance package. And part of that is going to include fingerprints. And SBA is now requiring electronic fingerprints for the 912 clearance process. So again, SBA applicants who currently face charges, who've been arrested in the past 6 months, or if they've ever been convicted, pled guilty, or been placed on pretrial diversion, or have been placed on any form of parole or probation, that 912 clearance package is going to have to be developed, submitted to SBA for clearance. There are some circumstances where you can clear your own 912. If you'll look in the SOP 5010 5K, you can find those circumstances. But when a 912 clearance package is required, SBA is now wanting electronic fingerprints. Again, the poll question we had earlier on Main Street Monday with the Coleman report is talking about Goldilocks economy. A lot of opportunities for those over the age of 50. Workers 55 and up, or workers make up almost half of the $2.9 million jobs in the workforce, those that are 55 and plus. 39% of the 55% plus individuals were gainfully employed, the highest percentage since 1961. Of this group, 65 and older men are employed at 24% rate, women at 16%. I think one of the takeaways from this is a lot of older workers in this economy are now looking potentially at small business ownership as the way they ride into retirement. So we're seeing a lot of people in the 50 plus age category that are getting into small business ownership and becoming entrepreneurs. Let's take a look at this question from Amanda. She's working in SBA 1. You know, most of you have SBA 1 available. It's a tremendous platform for origination of SBA loans. We have been promised for a long period of time that we eventually would see some servicing functionality and liquidation functionality in SBA 1. I hope that is in the near future. But Amanda's putting a loan in SBA 1. She has 3 co-borrowers, EPC, OC, and individual. And she's trying to put it in SBA 1. And what SBA 1's doing is asking questions about the EPC, asking questions about the OC, and then asking questions about the individual. And some of those questions that are popping up for Amanda don't actually apply to an individual, but to an entity. How do you structure this to avoid that scenario? Amanda, you're going to put in the EPC OC information, enter the individual as a guarantor. Your EPC and OC will be the co-borrowers. The individual will be the guarantor. That's the way to properly structure it when putting it in SBA 1 and to avoid the problem that you're seeing in SBA 1. A lot of great events. I want to encourage people, these events are a great way to get training in SBA lending. They're a great way to interact with other SBA lenders throughout the country. They're also a tremendous way to meet vendors who perform important services for SBA lenders, like business valuation companies, companies that do site visits, environmental companies, SBA lending software companies, but they're lender service providers. A lot of different service providers and products that are key to being a successful SBA lender. Got the Great Lakes Conference in Detroit, America East. I had an opportunity a few years back to speak at the America East Conference. It was actually in Hartford, Connecticut when I spoke. A great lending conference, tremendous participation. Neat conference. It's only a couple years old. The Music City Small Lenders Business Lenders Conference in Nashville. Flagel had the opportunity for 3 or 4 years to speak at Flagel, a great conference in Florida. You not only see SBA participant lenders from Florida, but you'll see some from other states as well. The NADCO annual meeting will be in Nashville, and NAGLE's annual conference is going to be in New Orleans this year. We have certified lending courses. These certification courses are a great way to train your SBA lending staff. As we all know, when we're, if we have an on-site review from SBA, if we have the FDIC or the OCC in our shop, they're asking us how we're training our lending staff. So these are a great way to train your lending staff. The SBA Loan Closer course is one that I developed. We've been fortunate the past 2 years to receive a national award as one of the best online training courses. It's an 8-week course, and it's got about a 10 to 15 minute training for each day. There's 5 segments a week, approximately 40 total segments. There are quizzes and assignments, and when you complete everything, you are a certified SBA loan closer. There's also an excellent underwriting certification course, as well as the SBA Express certification course as well. And we sometimes forget about, we all like big loans, but I've told people over and over that a good SBA portfolio has diversity in loan size, and the SBA Express loan program is an excellent way to increase the number of small loans you have in your SBA portfolio. So there's an SBA Express lender certification. I want to continue on that diversity in portfolio, not only diversity in loan size, but diversity in industry, diversity in the stage of businesses that you're financing, but you don't want to have all of your loans concentrated in a particular loan size, business type, or geographic location. So diversity is important. Express lending is one of the ways you can help build diversity in your SBA loan portfolio. Other SBA courses, one of my favorites that I get to teach is what you must do when your borrower goes 60 days delinquent. I work in origination and closing of SBA loans, but I love servicing and liquidation, and this course is intended to help you know what to do when you have a borrower who's past due. And I do think as SBA participant lenders, we got the great news that there was a rate decrease, but we had several increases prior to that. We have some borrowers that are getting stressed. That's on August 14th, next Wednesday. Great course in how to calculate cash flow. Had an opportunity to work with a lender who was working on a purchase package, and one of the questions the SBA was asking about that purchase package is how they calculated cash flow. So there's a course on calculating cash flow the SBA way on August 21st, USDA, BNI, and CF lending on August 29th, and then I have another one, the 5 critical C's of SBA lending. We're going to talk about some important aspects of SBA lending on September the 4th. Guys, we love questions. So if you have questions about SBA lending, you can submit those to bob@colemanreport.com, or you can submit them to me, lance@colemanreport.com. If you have any technical issues with our webinars or the Coleman Report Live, you can always email joseph@colemanreportlive. Guys, this has been a short show. We miss Bob. Bob's on a train traveling. Hopefully you enjoyed it today, and look forward to me and Bob being back with you next Thursday. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.